The detainees were freed from jails all over the country. They'd been imprisoned for political offences, some for years. The newly freed groups included more than 300 students and some clergy. Earlier in the week, another group of 177 had been released as part of President Chun's plan for democratic reforms. Relatives were at hand to greet them. Many vowed they would continue the fight. Meanwhile, the family of Han-Yol, the student who died on Sunday after being in a coma for 3 weeks, gathered by his coffin. Lee was mortally wounded by an exploding tear gas canister. The students are incensed by his death, although his family had called for calm. On Wednesday, about 2,000 people rallied at Yonsei University in Seoul. They marched to the morgue chanting anti-government and anti-American slogans, taunting police. The students have now vowed to march through the city on Thursday with the coffin. Police have said they can walk with the hearse towards the campus, but they've warned them not to march downtown. In fact, now President Chun, fearing more violence despite his promise for direct presidential elections, says he'll ban the funeral honoring Lee outright if there are signs of more trouble on the horizon.
Hundreds of thousands of people marched through the streets of Seoul in what was the first permitted anti-government protest since President Chun took power in 1979. The funeral of 20-year-old Han-Yol, who'd been hit by a police tear gas canister last month, the cue for this biggest ever display of opposition to Chun, whose latest attempt at compromise has been to free the dissident leader Kim Dae-Jung, pictured here on the left, now enabling him to run for the presidency if he so desires. Although military displays of strength have taken precedence over political dialogue, the police exercised some restraint today, resorting to tear gas only after a minority of demonstrators refused to disperse from the city centre. The crowd was to respond with petrol bombs and other missiles. An indication, perhaps, that yet more presidential reforms will be necessary to convince a large number of South Koreans that the days of military suppression really are at an end.
여러분의 봉사와 희생은 결코 헛되지 않았습니다. 여러분의 피땀 흘린 노력으로 위대한 저력을 전 세계에 보여준 본보기가
상도관계가 있고 동료관계가 있는 건 사실인데 부정당 그거 있습니다. 아니 이유는 바로 안세! 안세! 다음은